Alright, I'm starting this video because just a lot of shit I've been seeing. Number one, I'm gonna bring up the story. Now I'm not even gonna say I did it. I'm not gonna say I did it because I didn't. But it's just like, okay, please explain why would somebody, like, okay, say if somebody goes to a fast food restaurant and they order they see on the menu a hamburger. It costs $5. It costs $5 to get a hamburger. And you see the picture, I want a number two. And it comes with a sesame seed bun, two patties, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and like the honey mustard sauce or something. So it's like, okay, that's what I want. I want that. So you order, and then it comes back that you got no bread and no tomatoes. You just got the meat, the onions, and they just say, huh. You're gonna be like, wait a minute. I didn't order this shit. And they're gonna be like, oh, you gotta wait a week for us to give you the bread and everything else. I'm like, no, I paid the $5 for everything now, bro. Like, why are you giving me this shit? They're like, oh, we're sorry, and all this other goofy shit, and it's just like, whatever. Then it's like, well, if I want the bread, so somebody will say, well, if you want bread, you gotta go to the store and get the bread. But I paid the $5 for everything up front now. I should not have to wait to get the bread and whatever else they didn't put on my bitch. I want bread on this bitch. Why am I not getting bread in this bitch? And you advertised the bread on the motherfucking menu. On top of that, I seen the commercials when it had the bread and sesame seed bun on the bitch, and you ain't gonna give it to me. And I'm paying $5 for this shit. And then on top of that, it's like, yo, what the fuck is going on? It's like, oh, you gotta blame the actual hamburger chain. And it's like, but but I can't blame the cook, because the people, like, the person that's behind the counter making the shit knows they didn't put bread on this bitch. So now I can't blame the people back there making the shit. I gotta go up to the head honcho at the top, even though he knows sometimes they don't put bread on people's burgers. But it's like, okay, I give him that smoke, but I gotta give dude the smoke too. But you got it all, and then you got people excusing this hamburger chain on all types of shit, and then on top of that, I gotta ignore everything else going around. Like, you know how the chain got two different, like, they might have 2 or 3 different registers. There's a dude with a shotgun robbing one of the other cash registers. He like, give me your money. And then there's somebody else over there peeing on the floor. Somebody else is taking a shit in the fryer. I gotta ignore all this shit because you don't want me to offend the people behind the counter or something. I'm like, bullshit. I'm like, bullshit. Why are people taking this? The shit absolutely makes no sense. And oh, but I have to wait a week to get the burger. I mean the bread, the sesame seed bun. Why do I have to wait for that shit? And I paid the $5 to get the bread on the bitch now. I don't understand this shit, dude. And I'm speaking, and this is a big metaphor to just the game industry in general. you will have stupid, gullible people talking about, oh, we can't blame the developers. We got to blame the people at the top. Yes, the people at the top do lie. But at the same time, though, why are games that came out, you don't even have to go 17 years back. You could go further than that. You could at least go back to 1997 or 99 and be like, they did the shit right then, but your game that just came out a few days ago can't get basic shit right, but I have to wait. And then you got these players. It's always this whole excuse and shit. Like, oh, like I like the game, but I like this, but it's like, look, bro, I just seen it's some real shit. Let's be on some real shit. Let's be on some real shit. I have seen other type of players keep the shit real and other ones that don't. They would be on some real shit, but you got other people keep like giving excuses. Like, this is why the video game industry does what it does, because it's like you will sit up there and play this shit, complain about it, but then keep playing the game anyway after you spit the motherfucking grip. Sometimes some people spent over 200, over $200, because there was a game a couple years back that promised all type of like canvas bags and shit, and they didn't get nothing. They spent mad money on this, and this is what they got. I'm like, but then when they come out with another game, the same company will come out with another game, and y'all be nut hugging this shit, because it's like, well, we fucked up, but the players are gonna come back anyway. If you send a message like, yo, you fucked up, we ain't gonna play your shit no more, that will send a clear message to be like, yo, we better not fuck this up again. Or just if they just happen to just be evaporated, just be like, that's what you get for giving us buggy shit in modern era. And then you hear this one game developer, he was like, the game designers are the real problem because they never adjust that. They want you to change shit, but don't adjust the deadline. And I'm like, just have a clear path and stop pleasing every fucking body. I'm just on some real shit. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm like, look, there's a certain game that came out. Like, I'm not seriously, I didn't see the goodwill that this company brought up in the last game. So it's like y'all starting off from scratch for me. So it's like, if you fuck up, which you have, do you really think I'm gonna spend another $60 on another product of theirs? But see, that's me though. I'm a real G in this shit. All these other like fake dudes, it's just like you got a pimp home mentality. You get slapped up, but then you back on the stroll again, giving the pimp more money to keep slapping you up. Like, why the fuck are you just allowing this shit to keep going on like this? I'd be like, look, it's one thing if it'd be one thing if it was like, well, we're gonna give you this $20. It's $20, and it's like, oh, this is your second game. Okay, we get the shit, but like, no, you spending you charging whole $60, and this is what you give people. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. You sit up there playing with people's emotions. You promising all this shit to people, and then you wonder why people mad, and they get mad at the thing that you're like. This company sit up there, get mad at the thing they got their game on, as if it was their fault. I'm like, you're the ones that fucked up. It's like, I can't say nothing about the coders. Like, truth be told, some of the blame is on them, because again, like I'm not even gonna model nothing. You gonna now motherfuckers gonna look at a cube. You gonna look at a cube. If you don't like the shit, then fuck it. Then look again. You got games that came out 20 plus years ago that did the shit right. You got games that came out at least like in '08 that did relationships better. Like, why the fuck are you like? And then you want to set up there, but like, oh, it took 8 years, it took 5 years to make this shit. Look, it would not take that goddamn long to make cars drive around objects if it's obstructed. It wouldn't take that goddamn long. And truth be told, because a lot of motherfuckers in the comment section don't know what the fuck they're talking about most of the goddamn time. Do you know that there's places you could seriously just buy code? You didn't even gotta program that shit. You could literally just buy code and just put it in the shit, and that's it. Like win programs. There's certain programs that you could literally buy and you ain't gotta do nothing. You just copy and paste the shit from there. I mean, obviously there's a couple of little more steps, but what I'm saying, you ain't gotta sit there and be clicking keyboards and shit. You could seriously buy the code, boom, you got something going. And you seriously can't put this shit together in whenever the frame in 8 or 5 years. You can't get that shit right when games did the shit way before you did. Come on, son. Again, we don't even have to talk about, like, okay, fuck Rockstar and fuck GTA then. Fuck them. Volition did a better job that made Saints Row. I mean, you let Saints Row outdo you. You got Watch Dogs that did the shit better. Come on, son. I don't get the shit. I just literally do not understand why people are just just letting this shit go on. And then if we talking about them type of games, please explain to me this. Why do you have Watch Dogs 2 had a co-op, but you could only select dudes as your avatar, your playable character in co-op? But they had female body types because they had Satara in the shit, or the other people, other female characters in the game. Maybe you could say, well, they don't know how to do online like that, which is ridiculous given that Watch Dogs 2 came out in what, 2016? GTA 4 came out in '08, and they had a stock dude, a stock chick, you know, an Asian version, Hispanic, or whatever. I think they did the shit back then, and Watch Dogs 2 couldn't do the shit in 2016. I mean, it's like shit like that don't make sense in the game industry. You got mad people giving you mad examples, and it's like, no, fuck it, we want to do our own thing. It's not like saying it's not. You could do your own thing, but if there's people that like examples, like, okay, we want to do this, but we gonna put our own spin and flavor to the shit, that's one thing. But if it's almost like you look at somebody's example and say, fuck them, but we want to do the same thing, and just ignore whatever they did. And then you wonder why GTA 5 is still kicking people's asses still to this day after 7 years later. Like, that's obviously a fucking problem in the industry, because the game is not supposed to last that goddamn long. The shelf life to a video game, if it's not like an MMO or some shit, like a regular game, I mean, it's not supposed to, it's supposed to last like maybe, like I said, 3 months to maybe a year and a half. You got this game lasting 7 years, and then people mad at it. I mean, don't be mad at GTA. I mean, GTA is okay. It's cool. It got problems with the aimbots and shit, but it's just like, structurally speaking, like, you can't, like, especially if you're doing an open world fucking game, you can't get out of Rockstar's shadow. So stop even trying to do this shit. It's like you trying to get out of the shadow, but create your own shade. Like, what type of shit is that? And then you wonder why you fucked up in the first place. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's on some real shit. Like, see, I'm making an open world game, but I'm not stealing cars though. So it's like my shit, Black Dragon number 8. You're not stealing cars because everybody can fly and some people can teleport, so it don't matter. So the car shit is out of it. See, so I'm not, but at the same time though, you can get properties and stay in them bitches. Why in certain games that came out, you only got one main property where you can stash your shit and sleep, but then they say you got other apartments, but it's somebody else's house. What the fuck is that? That's misleading too. Like I go all the way up to the hills and I'm in the dude's house. And then I go to the other place that I got the relationship with. I can't sleep in the shit. I can't stash nothing there. And then but if I'm all the way in the desert, I gotta go all the way back up when they could have just placed like an apartment somewhere else, somewhere in the city in the bottom of the map, and then another place somewhere else. I got this one place that's mine. But then it's like I might have to wait for the DLC when they like, and then truth be told, it's like that is not a thing that you will steal from. Like, okay, Rockstar does it. Like Rockstar doesn't have a patent on buying property. That's a thing that everybody does. They don't have a patent on criminality like Grand Theft Auto. Even though they have the name Grand Theft Auto, but stealing cars, they can't patent that. So it's like trying to not do something. It's just a ridiculous thing. And I'm like, it's just too many people just giving too many excuses, just way too many excuses. I just don't. I just don't get it. I'm just like, it's just something wrong with people just letting the shit go on and excusing the shit. I mean, that's like it's just crazy. Now what the fuck I want to do right now? Let me see this. No, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not even in the mood to do this shit because it's just like, god damn, dude. It's just like on some real shit. It's just y'all are just trash, to be honest. It's just too many people excusing the shit, and it's like you wouldn't do this in any other field or industry, but it's like let's let the game industry fuck us over. I'm just like, dude, bro, it absolutely makes no sense. I'm just like, you hear people talking about this other game. It's like it's addictive, but it got broken buzz. It's always been broken. And then it's like they seem like they never. It's like they never learned their lesson from their first game. They're still going through the shit in the second game. And anybody who watches this shit or looks at my videos long enough, which they won't, will know what I'm talking about. This company that I cannot stand. I'm not going to say who they are, but I've said it before. But it's like they are constantly fucking up all the time, everywhere, every day. And they seem like they can never figure their shit out. Never. And I'm just like, and you hear people, and this goes to show you that these companies don't listen to nobody. It's just like this. Say if the community wanted them to do A, they wanted them to do something like, we'll say, like whatever A is. The community wants this. But the game companies are going with plan B. But then there's some people in the community that's they don't want to go with plan A. They want to go with plan B. So when the company implements plan B, then it's like, see, we're listening to the community, and people in camp B is like, yeah, they listen to us. So that goes to show you that it's like, fuck that, they already had that shit pre-planned what they was going to do. It's just this illusion of democracy. They don't give a fuck about the player base because you're going to play the shit anyway. So I'm like, I'm just like, it's just like, wow. Cause I'm like I said, even though I'm the old head, but it's funny that old heads be telling the real shit, and you got all these, I don't know what the fuck you call these nutsacks nowadays. They just accept too much shit. Like like I said, the only game that I played that you just couldn't play and it was broken was the Matrix game, that Into the Matrix back in '03. That was the one. Every game that else I played, it worked. You can beat it, and that was it. Now all of a sudden, it's just like every fucking game you pick up is broken. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's just like the car. We'll take the car industry for instance. You got the cars. I would say like maybe like you might have a model car, like whatever model, whatever. They might have some shit where is like the brakes are faulty or some shit, and they have a callback. You may not hear another brand of like a model car that's fucked up until like the next 5 to 6 years, and it's just like one model out of their lineup or some shit. But it's just like in the game industry, you have so many games that came out in the last 3 years that's fucked up. Big titles that people was anticipating that is just like, why'd you come out with this shit? We spent all this money and this is the best you got. And then people got to be waiting on pins and needles and bated breath for them to get their act together. It's like bullshit, dude. Get the fuck out of here. It's just so like ass backwards. Like, I'll spend $60+ for your shit to work now. All that whole shit like, oh, you shouldn't be an early adapter. Then why the fuck you put the shit out day one if I can't buy the shit out right now? Why I gotta wait for you to get good after you put the bitch out? What the fuck is that? It's just like I got a phone or something, or just here's my lamp. Here's my lamp. Whoever makes this lamp, I don't know who the fuck made this lamp. Lamp Man. Lamp Man puts out a lamp. He puts it out. Boom. Here it is. But I plug it up. No, matter of fact, I can't even plug the bitch up. There's no cord to the shit. And it's like, how am I supposed to turn this light on? Oh, you gotta wait for us to give you a cord to attach to the shit. And I gotta do my own maintenance to hook the wires up to the fucking base of the lamp and plug the bitch up. So I gotta wait a week for that shit. It's like, okay, fuck it. I'll wait. And then I get the shit. I do my own maintenance. I look up tutorials how to do the shit. I plug it up. No light. I put the bulb in. No light comes out the bitch. Then it's like, oh, the mechanisms that you gotta wait for us to download the mechanisms that put the light in the shit. Like, what the fuck is this? You put like, or then the people like, oh, don't be an early adapter. Like, you Lamp Man puts out the product right now. I should be able to buy the bitch and the bitch should work. I shouldn't have to wait for the bitch to do all this extra shit when you should have put the shit out right now. Why you put out a product if it ain't ready yet? When you claim it will be ready when the shit comes out. Why are we doing this? Why as gamers doing this shit? The shit absolutely makes no goddamn sense. I just generally don't understand that. I just don't get it. The shit is just ridiculous. This shit is 100% ridiculous. I mean, god damn. I'm just like, wow, and people just keep accepting the shit, and then see, then you got like these new dudes that play video games. They be in their like mid 20s, early 20s, maybe teens. Some of this shit, this is all they know. All they know is broken shit and fixing the shit. Like all these companies, they always put out games. Now it's just we'll put them out and they'll fix it later. It's always been like that. No, the fuck it hasn't. It's never been like that before they implemented the internet in these systems. The PlayStation 1, 2, Nintendo, Genesis, Super Nintendo, Jaguar, Sega Saturn, the 3D motherfucking O, TurboGrafx 16, the goddamn Atari. They've never been like that. They made the game. They made sure the shit was right. They put it out. You could buy the shit, play the bitch, beat the bitch, and then you talked about the bitch after you beat it to your punk ass friends. And then you be like, yeah, this shit was shit. And then you just bought the next game. You didn't have to just be like, oh, I don't know if I should buy this because I don't know, they might have bugs and shit. Like, who the fuck in my generation, and I'm basically a millennial, who the fuck would think about that shit back when we played like, I don't know, like GoldenEye or some shit, or GTA 3 or GTA 1 and 2. Like who like I remember this shit back when I was in high school. And my man, his name is Mike Gonzalez. He was talking about what was the game? Shamu for Dreamcast. And he was talking about all this shit you could do. He was literally talking about the shit like he was doing the shit in real life. Like, oh, I bought this thing. I bought like Ristar and the gumball machine. I beat up these dudes and all this shit. We was all listening in welding class. Like, oh shit, this game seemed crazy. And we heard the story. He didn't say like, oh, this game is mad buggy. He didn't have to say that shit because he just was confident enough in Sega that he was gonna buy this shit and it was gonna work. Now, if you fast, like, just say in an alternate universe, that game didn't come out in '99 and it came out now, it'll be like we would have all played it and he would have been like, oh, I mean, there's some bugs. It was glitched. My shit froze up. And they'll be like, oh, Mike, that's fucked up. Like, mine didn't do that, but I know what you mean because I heard it on the internet. Nobody would have been thinking about some shit like that. We spoke about the game in confidence. This is how the shit was. Nobody had to be making mad videos talking about this highly anticipated, overhyped game. And it's like, oh, this game is gonna revolutionize the shit. And then the people got it, and it's like, and then you got all these game journalists with all these YouTube channels talking about, oh, it's everything I anticipated. It's oh my god, like, oh bro, like, and then it's like now they gotta eat their words when all the shit comes back out and be like, oh, I mean, we didn't get the review codes and shit. It's like, see, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. Shut the fuck up. God damn, it's like y'all look mad stupid now. Y'all look extremely stupid because you hyped the shit up to high heaven. People actually listen to you for some ungodly reason. Because it's like, I'm not even gonna get into that, but just for some ungodly reason, people listen to your goofy ass. And then now all of a sudden, now you gotta eat your words, and now you really can't get mad at people heating up on you. You gotta heat up on the company that sold you the bullshit to begin with, and then acting like I'm reviewing it, but it looks like you're reading what they told you to read, and it comes off like a hostage negotiation type shit. Like, my captors are treating me very well, and yeah. Like, get the fuck out of here. Y'all motherfuckers lied because they lied. Like I said, whenever I finish my shit which would be a very long time because I'm doing this by my goddamn self. Why the fuck would I need to lie to y'all anyway? Because first of all, again, why would I have to lie to you? Two, I'm not going to sit out there and put out buggy shit because why the fuck would I play my own shit that's buggy? I'll be like, take this shit back. What the fuck? Go back to the drawing board and fix this shit. What the fuck is this? Like on some real shit. Why? Why? Like, please tell me why every time I'm playing this character, her code is jiggling and shit, and I'm sitting up there like, oh, it got bugs, but it's cool though. Like, what the fuck? Be like, why is her code shaking like that? Like, what programmer is it? What programmer is just let the shit go, and then the tester ain't saying nothing about, like, the tester clearly seen the shit, and you ain't saying nothing. Don't be afraid if I get mad. Just be like, oh, this code is fucked up, Mr. Dixon. Or like, okay, let's get it cracking and change the shit. Don't sit up there and act like I'm gonna just chop your head off like, oh, you gotta let this shit go. And then I wouldn't be making some release date. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with having ambitious games. But don't sit up there and make these short windows knowing you're inexperienced in this shit in the first place. Say it's coming soon, fuck all that, and just get it in how you get it in. Don't fucking worry about the release date. Like, even if you get death threats, these motherfuckers are cowards and ain't gonna do nothing anyway. Like, you could wait a couple months, bro. Calm your goof ass down. I'm just like, I just don't get it. I don't get why this shit is going on. Don't look, because I don't know, the dudes at the top, they probably don't play video games, and they just look at the shit like, because the video game industry is $1 billion industry. It makes more money than Hollywood. So it's just like these dudes at the top, so they just like, this is just a field that we just got in, and we could just make quick money. We never played a video game in our life, or it's just like their kid might handle the controller like, ooh, play this game, and they was like, oh, it's fun, and they don't know the little idiosyncrasies in the shit that's going on. It's just like they think that's how it is. They like, this is supposed to be like this, even if it's glitched or bug. They think this is the feature. But I've played video games most of my motherfucking life. I know what I'm seeing, what should or should not be. I shouldn't have to accept this code shaking like that. Like, she doesn't have a magical coat that got a mind of its fucking own. A coat is supposed to be a coat. It's supposed to stay on her body. That's how it was supposed to be. What the fuck are we doing here? Or she's walking because she got a British accent and she's talking shit and she just keep, and you be like, what the fuck? And you just see her talking and she invisible, or she got the eyes and the mouth floating. What the fuck is that? Like, I'm not accepting this shit. Like I said, but these companies ain't mine. When I come out with my company and my game, like, I'm not trying to be like this dude, like I'm consumer friendly type shit. I'm not trying to be that. Or like, I'm not trying to be the bad guy in the industry or the super villain. Shout out to MF Doom. I'm not trying to be like whatever. It's just like, I understand the consumer because I'm one of y'all basically. So if I don't want to go through the shit, I don't expect other people to go through the shit either. So if you say like, oh, this is a consumer friendly company, like it's just like whatever. Like I mean, I don't want to fuck nobody over because I don't want to get fucked over. Because I give a shit about consumers and the player base because I'm that dude. I've been playing games since '89. So why would I start being this elite asshole? Be like, fuck the player base. I don't care because I'm gonna be playing my own shit, and it would just be looking ridiculous if her coat is floating somewhere else and she start blinking. It's gonna take me out of this shit. Like, what the fuck? I'm just like, y'all, man. I just don't know, bro. I just don't know. I just do not know. I just don't know. I'm just like, something is wrong with y'all. Something is wrong with a lot of people that's letting this shit just go on like that. That shit is crazy. That shit is mad crazy. So that's how I see it. Something has got to change. And then you can't, like I said, you can't be mad at PlayStation because you're fucking up their reputation. I'm just like, bro. And even with them, 500 something dollars, and they be like mad shit that don't make sense. Like, when did I get the first PlayStation? 96? It was like March. I ain't had to worry about that shit. My man had the PlayStation 2. I had the PlayStation 3. Then I got the PlayStation 4. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, just the mechanisms ain't working. Shit freezing and crashing. I'm like, come on, dude. And I like the PlayStation. I mean, the PlayStation is that system to me. Not shitting on people. Like, I had an Xbox 360. I'm not shitting. It's like it's like a PlayStation, Xbox. I mean, get it in how you fit in. I don't care. But it's just like seeing shit not work the way it's supposed to is just like, man, like what I just don't understand what's going on. And then sitting up there saying shit like you didn't test this out, bro. I'm just like, look, I just care enough to be like, I wouldn't shit on people. I just wouldn't. Because I'm going to be playing this shit too. I'm going to be playing video games until the day I fucking die. I'm not going to sit up there and just get at the top of my own shit. I built my own empire, and now I'm not going to play my shit because fuck it. I'm making the money. That's not going to be me. I'm going to be playing games until my last breath, motherfucker. So I'm going to see the shit. I'm going to be seeing the shit before it comes out because I'm actually modeling this shit now. So I'm the only one involved in my own shit. I don't have no programmers and a whole staff for this. It's just me and my motherfucking attic on my PC. What I buy Power PC. It's just me, my balls, and my word, basically. I'm not gonna sit up there and fuck nobody over and be lying. The fuck is that? Like I said, I might continue to, because I'm gonna be making other videos about some other shit. That's just not me. That's just not me. And people shouldn't accept the shit. Just be like, oh, you gave us this shit, fuck you then. And then just let this shit crumble. I mean, there will be other video game industries to take their place, so fuck them. If they can't get their act together, fuck it. Because like I said, I mean, $60 to some people is nothing. $60 to another person, that's like, they gotta save up for that shit. But even if it's, even how you get, I mean, $60 is like whatever. But it's the principles and the morality in the whole thing. It's like Big Worm and Friday. It's the principalities in this. You can't expect people to like spend $60 and then shit on them and be like, oh, look, we'll fix it later. I don't know where they come from, But that just wouldn't fly in other circles. And I'm just like, people just accepting the shit. Don't accept the bullshit. But I'm out. I'm out. Like I said, this conversation might continue later, but this is me signing out. Don't accept the bullshit. Just don't accept the shit, no matter where it comes from. Especially if they've been in the game long as they have, or got millions of billions of dollars, and they act like they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and be asking the community for suggestions. Nope.